And welcome to my little soiree. Let me just turn that down for a second. Hopefully you can hear me. Sound check first. You can. Perfect. Awesome. All right, so let's start with a hepatitis outbreak from strawberries. Really, strawberries? Well, I warned you about strawberries and a recall on strawberries. Should we be worried? The United States is poking at China as China pokes at Taiwan. Spirit says to me today that there lies a secret agreement between China and the US. So is war inevitable? We will soon find out. Once again, a huge hail breaks car windows and roofs, this time in Brazil. So who's next? Who shall be next? Mike Tyson was spotted in a wheelchair. I said that Big Mike would face some major health issues. What's next for Tyson? The United States tests a long-range nuclear missile, without a nuclear head on it, but a long-range missile, while concerned residents of Texas experience an unannounced military drill above their neighborhoods. And New York City prepares residents for nuclear fallout and water preparations. What does this all mean? Also, as I predicted recently, a shooting at a Six Flags amusement park occurred, and a major roller coaster accident injured 9 or more people in Germany. As I said, I had visions of the roller coasters. Other topics today are going to include banking systems and the dollar, weather events, of course, China versus Taiwan, North Korea, and so much more. I welcome you to my channel and back to my channel. My name is Joseph Tittel. This is Tittel Teatime predictions update for August 16th, 2022, and this is episode number 28. And I welcome you all with infinite love and gratitude, and I am so grateful that you have decided to join me today, as I am here every single Tuesday to always tune in. I'm a little slow today, I'm moving slow today. I think everybody's moving slow today. The energies have been pretty intense. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I hope you enjoy the content and the precise predictions that I provide and everything else. And if you do, don't forget to click subscribe, followed by the bell and check your cellular notifications as well. And even if you are a subscriber and done all that, double check, because people do mysteriously become unsubscribed from other people's channels. So somewhere along the line, don't forget to give a like so that this stuff shows up on your feeds when you happen to forget. Trick those algorithms. When you do down thumb, you're avoiding this stuff from showing up. So whatever works for you, but thank you. With love and gratitude for your support, my subscribe star supporters on Awaken Your Spirit community, and of course all the members who join the community as a monthly supporter down below. Or again, you could be a part of the tribe by just hitting subscribe. So also down below, you'll find all the links for my social media, but also the link to my newsletter that I put out at least once a month, usually twice a month. And I will be working on a new newsletter in the next couple days. So you got to go down below, click on that link for the newsletter, open it up, and on the top left, subscribe. Be sure to check your email and confirm it so that you actually get the newsletter when it goes out. Other than that, let us start. And I wanted to start first by sending some honor and love to Olivia Newton-John for her decades fight and lost her fight against cancer, breast cancer specifically. And she was an advocate for using cannabis and marijuana to help her with breast cancer. And she has survived breast cancer for literally decades. And she swore that it was all because of cannabis. So our love goes out to her and all those others that were lost in the past week. So let's move forward. Let me get some tea first. I love my positive energy tea, baby. So we certainly all have experienced and witnessed crazy times, along with crazy people, of course, especially with what is happening in the world today. And times are getting even more crazy and more intense as we move into the final chapter of 2022. In just a few days, on August 20th, at 2:09 p.m. Pacific time, Mercury will enter into its pre-shadow phase of the sign Virgo until September 9th, when Mercury goes direct retrograde with Libra at 8:38 p.m. Pacific time. 6 hours and 21 minutes following the retrograde direct, The moon goes into the full moon mode, welcoming in the third energy shift of 2022. September will look like a balancing act with so many issues coming to the surface like never before. The full moon will bring with it a great shaking to the people and to the earth, along with new storms of this new century. It's going to be an interesting because Libra is all about justice, as we know, and a new rise up of the awakened will occur during these times in this retrograde energy shift cycle, and hopes to bringing justice to those who are about to experience the injustices of our so-called justice systems. The coming cycle is all about trying to bring balance where balance is simply no longer possible. It's like a balancing act for the month of September. September 9th till I believe October 2nd. And we're in that whole system for quite a bit. So through October, I think the 17th for the post shadow. We're going to see dark forces ever so clearly fighting to bring in their new world of enslavement, or the new order, if you know what I'm talking about, while attempting to cover up their tracks that simply can no longer be covered up anymore. That's always a wonderful thing, isn't it? The Bible states that there will clearly be signs that appear in the heavens. Something like that's already been occurring in 2022 already, but soon it will tip the scale of heavenly signs in our skies. A new wave of UFO sightings, along with major issues for aviation in the way of electronic failures. And sadly, some crashing events in the aviation arena will occur. This will include an influx of items crashing down to the earth like satellites, meteors, and unknown objects. Something to keep an eye out. As we say, keep your eye to the sky. We will see an uptick in protests, along with a new fight against a I always have a problem saying that word, militarized police state. Protest over food, protest over water, along with protests outside of the state and federal buildings, courthouses, supreme justices, and protests against corrupt governments. The Great Awakening, my friends, is about to become a whole lot greater. So no matter what is happening and what does happen in our very near future, I urge you all to remain calm, face and conquer the emotions that the retrograde is known to bring about. Step into your own personal power, and whatever you do, do not give in to the plan of global enslavement through their new monetary systems. Fear only feeds the demons controlling the army of darkness, as we know. Strength conquers that darkness. And I assure all of you that you would not have chosen to incarnate in this lifetime if you did not think you would be strong enough to survive our fight against the evil dark army. We will rise up. It is already happening, my friends. It's already happening on a whole new level, and it's just going to continue. We will face struggles, and only together can we come out of these struggles in this big mess even stronger and wiser than we went into it. That's the goal, right? That's what we want. The coming cycle will bring with it solar storms. I talked about that a couple of weeks ago. Solar storms that are capable of taking out electronics and power grids. A solar storm that will go beyond the Carrington event of 1859 is coming our way. Record-breaking earthquakes will hit without notice, floodwaters will rise, and many cities will be partially submerged in the waters as evacuations take place in several locations or countries simultaneously. Oh, excuse me. That's all going to be from mainly the solar flare storm, is what Spirit showed me today. That's going to ignite all these events. So we have to keep our eye out for the solar system that tops the 1859 Carrington event. When we get there, then we know we're about to be hit and need to be more prepared. So to some, it may appear like it's the end. Some are going to be screaming, Armageddon's here. But the reality is that we will be sorry. I feel like something just bit my head. So some people will feel like Armageddon coming to our beautiful Mother Earth. But Mother Earth is slowly moving into a whole new beginning. She is giving birth, as I told you before. This will continue to become more and more intense as we move forward through these 2020s and move closer to the new Earth nation when all people finally do come together on a much higher vibration of love to rebuild the amazing world in a new, innovative way by the year 2032. So we're only 10 years out from this new Earth coming into fruition. That's right around the corner, my friends, and it's what's going to happen before that, coming 2025, as I said in my video that I did on tribulation. If you missed it, check it out. Tribulation, I talk about the time periods of 2025 to 2032 being the most intense times on the planet. And people may think it's the most intense times now, but guess what? It's just going to get more intense. Like I said, my friends, welcome to the Great Awakening that's about to get a whole lot greater. Hallelujah. What are these people put in my room? Hold on one second. All right, moving right along. So strawberries and tainted food. Something I talked about before. Strawberries, tainted food, and a push away from organic foods and major recalls. This article comes to us first, and y'all that are new, I always try to open up with a good message of what's happening in the world, as I just did. Every Tuesday, I talk about any stories or news stories, events that could possibly align with our predictions or prophecies, and then always adding more predictions into the mix every Tuesday. All the more reason to subscribe. So an outbreak investigation of hepatitis, a virus, strawberries, May of 2022, and this is on the FDA.gov website. The FDA, along with CDC and state local partners, is investigating a multi-state outbreak of hepatitis, infections in the United States linked to fresh organic strawberries. This potentially contaminated strawberries were imported from Baja California. Contaminated, keyword, my friends, contaminated. Thank you, whoever sent 1111 in chat cash. Golden, I think that's what that says. I need glasses. I'm resistant. I'm resistant to the glasses. So keywords, again, contaminated strawberries imported from Baja California, a state in the northern Mexico, and branded as Fresh Campo and HEB by a common supplier. They were purchased between March 5th and April 15th. Why are we just now learning more about this? That's the interesting thing. The Health Emergency of Canada and the Canadian Food Inspection Agency are also investigating an outbreak of hepatitis. And imported, remember I said there was going to be an outbreak, and I said that was going to affect kids first. And we had that whole outbreak with the hepatitis with kids. But now, and I don't know which one it was, A, B, or C, but now we have the A affecting people, not just kids. So they're telling us. Currently, these imported fresh organic strawberries are past shelf life, and we are not available for purchase in stores. People who purchased these fresh organic strawberries between March and April, and we're now in August. Who the heck's going to remember that they purchased them? Unless you got sick or ended up with the hepatitis. If you are unsure what brand you purchased, when you purchased your strawberries, or where you purchased them from, the strawberries should be thrown away. Well, I was a little late because I think they'd be moldy and hard in your refrigerator by now. I thought that was interesting, and let me touch base and give you some feedback from the spirits. I made a prediction way back, if you remember, about strawberries and tainted foods. I warned you that there was much more to the story. This is all aligned with the agenda of the evildoers to bring upon the famine prophesied in the Bible. If you take notice, this is also an attack on our food, especially organic foods. Remember the video I did, The Game of Hunger? And if you have not seen that, make sure you go to my channel and check it out, because it's of the utmost importance for you to be prepared and know what's really happening on this planet right now with food and water, but mainly food in that video. And now it's hitting another level. They want you eating their genetically modified crap that's coated with toxic chemicals. That's what they want. Spirit tells me to warn you all to wash your veggies and fruits really well. Or Spirit says, better yet, and I agree, grow your own or purchase them from local farmers, especially if you can find local organic farms. Spinach will become a big concern. I don't know, I have deja vu when I had this come to me today. So I don't know if I said it in my January 1st predictions, but spinach will become a main concern. Good thing I got some growing in my garden. And likely we'll see spinach recalls, including the brand Popeye spinach popped in my mind. And that's the kind I used to buy in the cans all the time back east. I haven't seen it out here, but I haven't really looked for it either. Some type of problems going to arise around lettuce as well, both romaine lettuce and iceberg lettuce. Shortages due to events that damage crops. Now, this is coming to me now, so I got to make sure I put it in my notes, because my notes that I work on for 4 to 5 hours every Tuesday, I post on my Subscribestar, which actually my friends on Subscribestar, I'm behind and I got a whole bunch that I need to post. Maybe I'll do that tonight, actually. It's a good idea. Tomatoes pops in my mind. That's what I had to take a note of. And I know I remember predicting tomato shortages. I know I did that. But it popped in my mind again. And when I'm doing this live with you, Spirit gives me reminders. So, we're being reminded the tomatoes, get your own tomato sauce. And if you eat it, for stocking up, because that's one of the things I stocked up on was jars of tomato sauce and lots of pasta. Because if there's a shortage, at least you have that in the cabinet, right? And actually, I hope to make my own pretty soon, my own sauce and all, and jar that. But anyway, I warned you all previously about corn as well. And Spirit reminds me to remind you, this includes all types of corn products. The good thing here is that it will hit the corn syrup industry as well, which should be taken out completely anyway, because corn syrup is one of the main reasons for the obesity in the United States. And it's been banned from so many countries, but we still have it here. The United States has all these things that were banned from all the other countries. Interesting, right? It's like we're little test dummies for them, right? Remember, I warned you about eggs and egg shortages in the past? Well, now the evil elite are angry that you and everybody here are awakening and starting to grow their own food and raise their own chickens. Chicken sales have skyrocketed as far as buy little chicks and people raising their own chickens, skyrocketed. People are catching on. People want their own chickens and their own eggs. So now, have you seen the new one today? I read the article this morning. I don't have it there. But recently they warned about high amounts of lead in eggs from chickens in urban farms. Only urban farming. High amount of lead. This is, to me, an attack on urban farming now. And soon you're going to see a push of fear and potential laws to stop some types of urban farming. So again, keep your eyes peeled for that where you live. Because, they like to pass things without us knowing or doing it under the radar. And then when it comes time, it's too late because they already passed their little laws. So a lot of predictions about looting are coming into fruition. Remember, I told you about looters, and then it happened in Africa. Well, now we just had a group on Friday night in central London. A large group of youths engaged in what the article calls BLM-style looting. Which I thought was just throwing hatred towards a group that nobody probably likes anyway, but still, it's looting. Looting is looting. Why do they have to say BLM style? It's disgusting looting, period. Doesn't matter who does it. It's looting. They're looters. They're all looters. Looters come in all colors and all races and all creeds. So this happened in London, and I watched some video clips on it. It was quite interesting. This is just the beginning, my friends. Y'all over there in England and the UK are going to experience a big wave of looters and things occurring like this, which will spread globally, of course. We're going to see that. And come the winter months, it's going to get really intense. As I talk about this, Spirit shows me now big fires occurring again. Kind of reminds me of what happened in the United States when they started to burn down our cities. So I don't know if that's what Spirit's showing me with fires, but I see fires again being set, and it looks like buildings like shopping malls or centers and large crowds of people. So I don't know if this is heading in the direction of what just happened Friday in London. This isn't in my notes. This is what Spirit shows me now. So that's the good thing about tuning in live and checking out everything that I put out in content, especially on Tuesdays, because even though I work 4 or 5 hours on this all day long, channeling information, checking articles, and all the messages that you beautiful friends send me to let me know what's going on, because I don't watch the news. So sometimes I'll check out the news feed just on Tuesdays just to see if anything pops up that's relevant. But most of it comes from you. Thank you, Tiny Tank. Did I read that right? Wow, that is very generous with your 8888. Thank you so much. Tiny Tank says, you are the best. Love you. Thank you for spending every Tuesday with us. No, thank you for spending Tuesdays with me, because I wouldn't be here on Tuesdays if it wasn't for you, Tiny Tank. Thank you all. Love you lots for that support. Let's talk a little bit about Mike Tyson, that is. So Mike Tyson, if you remember, I said it in my predictions back, I think February or March. It was on an episode of Tittle Tuesday, so it had to be one of the first few. I said that I saw him facing issues with health, which again, going back to that was my visions of him in a wheelchair and in a hospital. So Mike Tyson was spotted in a wheelchair at Miami airport. And apparently, I'm not going to read the whole article to you, but apparently they say it's from sciatic issues, which I understand sciatic pain. And that man's been beaten, thrown, not much. He did most of the beating and throwing in his life. But Tyson's last outing, when he was assisted in a wheelchair by airport employees, came exactly 3 weeks after he was seen moving gingerly while out in New York City. So that's kind of weird. Moving gingerly. Whose article? What website's this? New York Post. Let's get rid of that. But just to bring that up, because it does correlate with previous predictions, and I do see that there's more issues coming from Mr. Tyson, but more with the health, especially something around his chest, his lungs, or his heart, or both. This is going to occur even more so in about 2 years. I think if I remember correctly, I looked up his birthday, and he's in his 7, I think, right now, which would put him in his 9 year in 2 years, 2024. And that could be detrimental to people's health when you get older, especially. So what about BG? Mr. Gates, that guy at one point became one of the most disliked persons on the planet, might still be. Well, I got a whole bunch of information for you about Mr. Gates, Mr. Microsoft himself. Bill Gates shares a plan to tackle the world's deadliest animal, which this article totally threw me off because I saw it and clicked on it. And then when I read it, I'm like, that doesn't make sense to what your headline is. The Microsoft founder shared a plan to outsmart the world's deadliest animal on Monday. Okay, first of all, it's a bug. It's not an animal. What happened? Gates recently wrote in his blog about building a Medellin, Colombia, where scientists are breeding millions and millions of mosquitoes. Now, we all know about this because this is old news, but it's new news because it's on in this article from Benzinga. Never heard of it. So what happened? The scientists are feeding the mosquitoes generous helpings of fish meal, sugar, and blood, said Gates. The mosquito breeding factory may appear akin to the Hollywood writer's horror film plot, according to the Microsoft executive. But in reality, the insects are helping to save and improve millions of lives. Coming from a person who says there's too many people on the earth. A man that says there's too many people on the earth, but we're going to save millions through these biologically created, genetically modified mosquitoes. What do you think about that? Create a computer, create a software program, then create a virus to make more money, and a virus software to make even more money. Come on, we all know this. This is all old news. But let me tell you what I got. These mosquitoes in a factory are infected with Wolbachia bacteria, which blocks them from transmitting viral diseases like Zika, blah, blah, blah. So the released mosquitoes in turn pass the bacteria to mating mosquitoes in the wild. So years ago, we know that they did this in, Key West, in the Keys of Florida, and they released all of them. It became a big controversy. That was, I think, in 2020, actually, when we were all on that global lockdown. So Let me tell you what I got today from Spirit. We are all very concerned about the genetically modified mosquitoes, as we should be. Spirit showed me that they originally planned to spread something through the mosquitoes, but not before getting their own proper, vax thing to protect fellow elite scumbags. But Spirit assured me that they actually failed at that mission and forced the forces of good came in and altered their plan. So again, they Spirit said that they were literally like kind of like the 2020 bug, trying to do that through something with mosquitoes, where they get the antidote. Yeah, they get the antidote, while everybody else doesn't. And Spirit said that the good forces of good came in and stopped that from happening, vacuumed up all those skeeters. But now they're still working hard at it. So it'll be interesting. So, what else Spirit told me is that they are still trying, but they will continue to fail. Although we will soon see a new virus or disease being spread from mosquitoes. Almost to me, it was like a variant of some sort. This is likely already occurring in Africa, but we are not yet aware of such. This is a crossbreed type of disease, and Spirit assured us all, that it will quickly be contained. But be aware of the Dark Army, because they will utilize this event as a fear-mongering ploy to push a new agenda. So we'll have to see what that new agenda is. This may not fully take place until 2023 and 2024. So something to remember. I see Mr. Gates facing many issues in and around his birthday, which is October 28th. We were just talking about Scorpios in my group chat on Zoom a minute before we started. He is a Scorpio. And let me tell you, he wants to sting the majority with his deadly venom. Spirit says he will eventually be stung himself. And things are slowly crumbling around him right now. But this will not be known to the masses, of course, for quite some time, if at all. Bill Gates is in his 8th year, his money year, and he certainly is making more than ever this year. But Spirit makes me feel a huge payout and losses will hit the Gates enterprise by the year end. They will try to keep this on the down low. 2023 will bring great challenges to Mr. G. This includes health issues, a stay in the hospital, and a huge target of hatred from around the world. So I don't know what he's doing, but he's going to anger some people. Truth is soon to be revealed on a deeper level. And I see Mr. G facing some legal issues in several countries where he will no longer be able to travel to those countries. Interesting, right? Very interesting. But I got something even more interesting. Poor people in Texas were all of a sudden shocked because some of them didn't get the notice that they were doing military drills right above the neighborhood. They thought they were under attack. So the U.S. Air Force also tested a long-range nuclear-capable missile. Tuesday, they tested an unarmed nuclear long-range missile, according to the Air Force Global Strike Command. The unarmed Minuteman III intercontinental ballistic missile, equipped with test vehicle. What is that? What's that? Oh, test reentry vehicle. Sorry, I can read. Was launched from the Vandenberg Air Force Base in California and traveled 4,200 miles to the test range near Marshall Islands, which I just think that's horrible that they use these different places for test ranges and blow up bombs. And, what about all the little creatures? They got souls too. Bugs got souls too. Like, what gives them the right to just go blow up an area and harm nature and harm the animals? And they talk about us. They talk about us being on our carbon footprints while they're blowing up islands and killing natural life. And you don't think that explosion has some kind of effect on our energy and magnetic fields of the Earth? No, it's probably why the Earth is in the shape that it's in. But I thought that was really interesting. I'm not going to continue reading that article, but I'm going to continue giving you some more information because that's what we do. U.S. and South Korea and Japan hold exercises with eye on North Korea and China. That also happened. Again, the United States, South Korea, and Japan are holding, or just were, or about to hold exercises with the eye on North Korea and China. So they're already doing war games, with against China and North Korea. Remember the movie Red Dawn? We were just talking about that today in my chat. Red Dawn with Chris Hemsworth, when North Korea attacks Washington, the state of Washington, United States. That showed up last night, and I actually watched it. It was a really great movie, actually, but it was also creepy at the same time, because when you watch that movie, people don't realize that can happen. That can happen faster and easier than you would ever even imagine. And that's how it would come suddenly when you least expect it. So why is it that the United States can test all these types of missiles? When someone else does it, it becomes a huge deal, right? They are certainly preparing for something. We can see that. And all together, we can only pray and hold in the light that peace prevails after the darkness falls finally. I said in the past that North Korea would become a concern, and mass media would use North Korea's actions to feed their agenda and push fear from North Korea, China and Russia included. I see behind the scenes, what Spirit showed me today, that China is and may take over North Korea. They will use North Korea in some way when it comes to Taiwan. I wasn't sure, so I couldn't get clarity on that. But somehow or another, China is already infiltrated North Korea. And in some way, it's going to have something to do with mixing with Taiwan. So they're probably already, whatever they did in North Korea, they're doing now in Taiwan, is what I would take it. Not sure how or why, but I did see Kim Jong-un's sister running the show and taking power, which confirms what I said before, that Kim is either already dead or he will be soon. Or at least they will announce and make it appear as such, of course. But by 2024, I see a different rulership for North Korea. So we can only hold in the light that that's something positive for those people there, because they're people with souls too, and they deserve to be free and at peace like the rest of the world does. China, let's talk a little bit about China. China is facing more issues than it can actually handle, and is about to take on a whole lot more issues. They wish to bring a message to the world, and in doing so, they will take some type of serious military action in the near future. This includes the uprising of Taiwan citizens and China's takeover. I see some issue coming up between China and Japan as well. Every time I've done my show, I have a half a cup of tea that's cold. It's starting to get cold already. So anyway, where was I? I lost my notes. I see some type of issue coming up between China and Japan as well, and it does not feel positive to me. Spirit shows me that China did and will have a hand in the takedown of Japanese politicians. I thought this was very interesting when I got this information from Spirit today. This includes the recent assassination of the previous Prime Minister of Japan. Spirit showed me that China had a hand in that assassination as well. How? Who knows? We already know that the United States with their MK Ultra can do mind control, because I told you that there was going to be mass shooting in the state of Texas, and Spirit showed us that it would be due to mind control, and that there would be 3 in one day, and that happened. And one of them shooters, said he didn't remember doing it, and that claimed that he didn't shoot anybody. Sounds a little bit like mind control, don't it? Or mental illness, but we got to go with what Spirit said. So this included the recent assassination again, and Spirit showed me China had a hand in it. And a new Japanese leader will not take China's harassments, is what Spirit said. And I don't know what's going on over there in Japan, but I don't know if there is a new leader now. If not, excuse me, there's one that's coming in the very near future. My microphone's still working, yeah. So it'll be interesting to see how that works out. China's economy continues to fall as they rush to make even more changes around their digital currencies. Currency that will soon be added or picked up by another country, or several other countries. Again, this is something to watch, my friends. Spirit said they're rushing to do something different with their currency. I don't know what. I was trying to get more information about it. I wanted more information about it, but I didn't get any more information about it. I wish I would have got more information about it, but I did not. But that's why you got to tune in every week, because if I don't get information today, I might get information tomorrow. You just never know how things will pan out with the spirit people. So likely China forcing them. Wait, I lost my spot again. Yeah, so currency that soon will be added. That's what Spirit showed me. That another country is going to, embrace the new digital enslavement currency of China. It'll be interesting. And my first thought was probably Taiwan, and not that they have a choice, but they probably, and I don't know, maybe they have that currency. I know nothing about it. I can only tell you what the spirits tell me. The younger generation of China is much different than other countries. They are not as programmed as one would believe they would be. It is the younger generation of China that will begin rising up over the next few years. It will not be surprising at all when parts of China rise up in a civil war. Speaking of wars, speaking of civil wars, Spirit shows me visions of this occurring globally to a point that it will be very obvious and clear to all of us, even the ones that might be not awakened or blinded right now, that there truly is a war going on with the light fighting the dark forces. So in Taiwan, I see chaos coming to that area, especially October, September, October, probably as we're coming out of the retrograde energy shift cycle. But again, I'll be back next week, and you got to keep an eye when I come in. The first show of September is predictions. I always do, focus on mainly predictions the first Tuesday of every month. So the dollar, November will be a time to watch the markets closely, because many markets, which are already happening, are going to collapse in many countries, especially when we get to November. Remember that November is an 8-month in numerology, and we're in a 6-year universally. The 8 rules over money and financial markets. So now with the average credit card interest rates in the United States being 20.8%, isn't that insane? 20.8, that's the average. The average credit card percentage rate is 20.8%. People are already struggling to pay those credit card debts. The central banking system's already secretly working alongside of governments to implement something worse. I don't know what could be worse, but I don't want to know either. And I know you don't want to know either. A penalty of sorts to those paying credit debt, or even those that are not paying, that need to be paying, but they're not paying, when they launch their new currency. This is part of their goal. So they're going after people with credit debt first. I don't know how, but it doesn't feel good to me. I mean, it's already many of these people can never, ever finish paying their debts. I mean, I said we all should just wake up one day and say, heck with the banks, start trading and let the bankers collapse. I mean, I wish people would come together and do that. That's all it takes. Just at least half the population doing that. Just for a couple days. They killed our economies by locking us down. We could kill theirs by locking them down. But we don't, not yet anyway. But it's coming, especially when we get to 2025, which is a 9-year numerology. Going back to the currencies, because I know lots of people want to know about the currencies, and they're working secretly, is what Spirit showed me. We can stop this from occurring, but only if we come together, like I said, and fight for what is right. If they want a great, hear that thunder? Boom. That's weird because it's blue skies out my window. But that's some loud thunder. I better move on so I don't lose my connection with you all. So the Great Reset that they call, we must demand a greater one that eliminates the poverty and struggles to put food on the table due to the high debts. The government can have high debts and get away with it, but we can't. How fair is that? We must stop our countries from implementing a new global currency with the central banking system specifically. And we must resist their coming social credit scoring system that they plan to implement. That's in Biden's list. He's going to implement that probably really soon. And that's something we must resist, my friends. We must. But if we don't, our future children and grandchildren are going to live in a surveillance police state under complete communist rule, because that's where it's heading. You want your kids and grandkids to live in that? We're supposed to leave this world better for our kids and grandkids. They, meaning the evil army of darkness, is already working hard on collapsing the dollar. And they are doing a great job at doing such. This is their plan before bringing society into a starving, hungry, fear-driven state, so that they can act like the saviors by making their evil new world agenda look as if it's helping humanity. Yep, that's what they do. We know that. The planet, and of course, driving down your carbon footprint. Of course, that's what they're going to do. They're going to make it look good. They're going to be the saviors for you, the planet, and drive down your carbon footprint, while they fly their jets and suck up thousands, tens of thousands of gallons of jet fuel, which is so bad for the environment. But that's okay. They can do that. You cannot. See the fairness there? So as far as global economic crash, it can happen anytime. We know that. We see that. It's already happening in many countries, especially since the evildoers are pushing their agenda harder than ever. Like, they're pushing it out sooner and harder and faster before they lose their grip on power, which they already are losing a bit. I feel that 2024 would be the year that would make the most sense for a new currency to go into place, hopefully the better one. Remember, I talked about it a while back about gold-based digital currencies. It's in probably my January predictions for New Year's Day. But 2024 is an 8-year numerology, and that would just make more sense because, as I told you twice on today's show, that the 8 is a power number for money. Remember, write the number 8 on a piece of paper. Make it nice and pretty. Decorate it. Put it in your wallet, your purse. It helps attract money and good vibrations. If you have a business, frame it, hang it up behind your cash register, or put it in your cash register. So money is going to disappear. Remember, I told you money's going to disappear. Look what just happened in China. Look what just happened. What happened in 1933 in the United States? They came and took everybody's gold. They took their savings. They took it. Where did that gold go? Because it's not where they say it is. That place is empty. Fort Dix, or not Fort Dix, wherever it is that they have it. I forget the name of it, but it's not there. There's nothing there. It's in their banks. It's in their basements. It's on their spaceships. But money, like what happened to the people in China, and all their money just disappeared. They took all their money out of the savings account. That's what they're going to do. My friends, I tell you, you better look. If you have IRAs and retirement funds and investments, you better look into things that are backed by gold that are safe. And even people with gold, they'll find a way to screw you out of that too if they can. But what's most important is that you are prepared and that you have something backed up. And food and water, like I said, that's gold. That is as gold as you can get. Being prepared with food and water and lots of it. But the dollar is falling, and it's going to continue to fall. And part of the global currency Spirit showed me that they want to put in, it's like these digital coins are so programmed to you as an individual. It's very crazy. It's very, very sick. It's very alien, if we can say alien, because it's just too bizarre and too complex to be created just by some person. There has to be alien forces that are creating this. And what this currency is it's government spyware. That's what it is, to spy on you. And they will. They're already doing it, and they're testing it with everything you do. But now it's going to get to a point where they are going to, if they don't want you to eat, they could stop you from going to the grocery store. They could take your money away. They did it in China. They're about to do it globally, and then they're going to do it to anybody. If they don't like who you vote for, they're going to take your money away, your individual currencies. That's their plan, but we can, again, hold in the light that doesn't happen. I'm going to do a video on this, but I'm going to put it out to you now that I just became aware of the executive order number 14067 signed in secret on March 9th, 2022. Especially Section 4 of 14067. That all is linked to Project Lithium and Project Hamilton. Things to look up. before this Biden bucks comes to our stores, comes to your bank accounts. We don't want no damn Biden bucks. That's what we're going to call it, Biden bucks. That's the new world global currencies and all that stuff. Stay tuned again, subscribe to the channel, and I will cover economic predictions in depth in future videos. And I'm going to do a video specifically on what I just said because it's just something important, short, and I'll get that. Speaking of money, the IRS, International Revenue Service. Let's discuss the IRS takeover that's occurring. JB is hiring 80,000 new IRS employees and is training them to carry guns. Stay still, cowboy. No. Yeah, I know you probably heard this already. I mean, it's insane. Over 80,000 new armed IRS agents. Honey, they're coming to your door and they're going to shoot you because half these idiots shouldn't have a gun in their hand. They are not law enforcement. They are not trained military personnel. They're just people getting paid by the government to have a gun. And now some of these people are going to think they have more power and that they're federal IRS agents. They'll shoot you over a penny. It's going to get very, very, very interesting. This is a clear sign of their communist takeover of America, without a doubt. I did say in the past, if you remember, that there would be a time where the IRS would collapse and cease to exist on the level that it currently exists. Well, that's actually happening right now, but it's in the opposite direction than what I thought or what I predicted. But it doesn't mean it isn't going to go back, but it's definitely changing on a whole nother level. What did they sign secret executive orders that relate to that we don't know about? Well, it's going the opposite way at the moment, but I stick to my guns. I stick to my guns and tell you that this is very dangerous to put this to do what they're doing. Pushing guns into the hands of IRS agents is just so dangerous, and it's a dangerous slope to go down. This is why they are doing so, because it is a dangerous slope to go down. So much of what's happening will be overturned, is what Spirit showed me. So it goes back to what I predicted a while back. So we can only hold in the light. And it was important to bring that up today because, some people might be worried about that. I don't know why. You know what? They have guns when we can have guns too. What big deal is that? I don't think that's as bad as half the things they're doing. Tracking everything you do and being able to turn on and turn off your bank accounts, not cool. Let's talk weather. Let's talk a better subject. Not that the weather is better, but the thunder stopped. I don't know where that thunder came from. As I said in the past, we would see a huge uptake in weather events and especially earthquakes. We see this occurring this month already, and the activity will quiet up a little bit, according to Spirit, before a great shaking begins. And I did a video, Tuesday episode, past month or so, where I said the great shaking. So Spirit, elaborated on that or emphasized on this great shaking again. But he said, Spirits said that there would be a quieting before. Really interesting. Quiet up a little bit. Large quakes are going to hit areas like California, Puerto Rico, New York, and yes, even Florida will get a bit of a shaking here in the United States. As I said in the past few weeks, actually, I just said in the past 2 weeks that in time, no land will go untouched by Mother Earth's shake, rattle, and roll. That's right. Mother Earth is going to shake, rattle, and roll, and nobody will be free of that shake, rattle, and roll. So time to get out your dancing shoes, friends. New islands, Spirit showed me, new islands will appear. And I said this before, again, in the past, but this one was specific area, and that is the area of Hawaii. Yes, new islands will begin to form off the coast of Hawaii. The only thing I could think of is ocean volcanoes that were also in past predictions. I would think that would be what could easily form those islands. So it'd be something to look, pay attention to when it comes. Speaking of earthquakes, Las Vegas, Nevada will shake with quakes, as will Japan, as I predicted previously, is in for a massive weather ride, our friends in Japan. Massive quake and potential for a small tsunami in the area of Japan. Remember, I said it last week. I talked about that area right where Fukushima was off the coast, and that did occur. Spirit's showing it to me again today, and says in a few weeks it'll hit harder. That's not in my notes. So Spirit says the whole thing I said with the quake activity re-erupting right off the coast of Japan that caused the 2011 Japan quake and tsunami. I said that that would start to flare up again. It did 2 weeks ago, less than 2 weeks ago. But now Spirit's showing me separately that it's going to quiet down. But I'm thinking, it feels to me like Spirit's saying a few weeks. So that could be 2 to 4 weeks, could be a few weeks. It's going to become even more disrupted. Disrupted is the word. So, large volcanic eruption and massive quake hits in around Peru. So that's yet to come. Large volcanic eruption and massive quake. And it felt like they're all at the same time. Spirit shows me many great shakings will occur in December, sending 2022 off with a bang and with a shake. Speaking of that time period, New York City has yet, hi doggy. New York City has yet, but soon will experience the terrible storms that I predicted in the past. But I bring up New York City mainly because Spirit shows me issues around New Year's Eve celebration in New York City. And I feel like I had visions of this a couple years back. And one of y'all made note to that in the comments recently from last week, that a lot of things that I said years ago are coming true now. And we've tracked this. I've been doing this for over 15 years. And it seems like anywhere from 2 to 4 years, and some of my major predictions come into fruition. Now, lately, in the past 2 years, they've been coming true faster. Some things I say happen the next day, which is really creepy. But someone paid notice to that. So I'm going to have to go back because, years ago, I only did my New Year's Day predictions. I'm going to have to go back. I have all those notes and take a look at them when I get a chance. But thank you for keeping on top of my stuff and always do. If you have an article, a link, anything that has anything to do with predictions coming true and things happening, please always go to the video, the last Tuesday video that I did, or the video that it relates to, where I say it in the video. That's even better. Post those links on YouTube, not in my email, because my email I try to keep for business clients and students specifically. The best place is here on YouTube because I see them, I read them, and I look at those links. But also, I only look at links that have a description. And if I do that, if I approve those, just the link, I can tell you nobody's gonna click on it, or very few people will. You have to put a title. What is the link before putting the link? And we appreciate that. I appreciate that, and so does everybody else that reads the comments. So back to New York City. Okay, so polio, which was something I said again, that polio would there'd be a reoccurring of polio. And I remember the comments that came flowing in. This had to be over a year ago. Could have been 2 years ago. I remember the comments coming in saying, "Oh, that's been eradicated. That isn't going to happen." And I love those kind of comments that come in, always saying, "You're wrong. That's not going to happen. That's not possible." And well, it is, and it is happening. But here's the creepy thing. Polio was detected in New York City sewage. First of all, who the heck tests sewage? I guess they do that. I don't know, but I wouldn't want to be no poop tester. That would be just an awful job. So what did I say in the past about polio? As we know, people said it was eradicated, but it's not. Should we be concerned? Spirit says no. Don't be concerned. So don't be concerned. I see crowds of people gathering in what appears to be some type of celebration. Suddenly, I felt a large rumble and hear a loud blast or shots, while seeing at the same time, simultaneously, the crowd suddenly and quickly dispersing in different directions. I'm not sure if this was New York City and had to do with the New Year's thing or if it's something else. And I always put everything in order the way I receive it from Spirit, of course. And, that came right after the New York City polio and all that predictions. Speaking in New York City, their neighbor, New Jersey, will hit the media due to several coming events. One feels like a major weather-related event, and this isn't in my notes, but it popped in my mind now, Hurricane Sandy, if you remember. How could you forget? I lived down that way in Pennsylvania. I have lots of friends and clients that lost properties and such when that happened. But that popped in my mind. Not that that's it, but I did talk about in my weather predictions about hurricanes and that one going up the East Coast. I don't know if it's hurricane related, but again, New Jersey's hitting the media for a couple big stories, couple different things. One felt weather related, for sure. And then the other felt like some type of shooting. The Jersey Shore also came to mind. I don't know which Jersey Shore, but the Jersey Shore. I feel like more up towards the upper part of New Jersey, towards New York. So, think Seaside Heights and all that. But I mean, it could even be Wildwood. So, not that that's where the shooting is, but something big around the Jersey Shore. That could be, of course, the weather-related aspect. So always stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe below. Don't forget to click that like button. I love you, so click like. But other than that, I got more stuff, so don't go nowhere. I got a lot more stuff, actually. No, I don't. Not that much. Let's go back to New York for a minute. So no, I got something else. So one of the events that will set off a series of major earthquakes, followed by great storms, floods, and tornadoes, will be this large solar storm that I mentioned in previous predictions, if you recall. Now, we just had that happen, and I mentioned the solar storm in one of my Tuesday episodes, and then it happened right afterwards. But this is different. I said it earlier in this show. This is much different. And Spirit said, keep your eye out for this solar storm, because that solar storm is going to unleash major events with storms, floods, tornadoes, and so forth. Also, something else, I don't know if it's true or not, but apparently meteors are drawn to areas with extra magnetic activity. And very often meteors are seen, and soon after, earthquakes hit in that area. I don't know if it's true. I didn't fact check it. I didn't look deeper into it. I didn't have time. But speaking of things boiling up, I know by now you know about the Hudson River boiling up along the shorelines of the Hudson in New York City. And it is boiling up with, of course, methane gas. And earthquake, that's all sitting on a big fault right there. And they're already trying to cover it up and say that, oh no, this, that, blah, blah, blah. No, that is from underground volcanic activity. 100%. Spirit confirmed it, and Spirit showed me. And this could go back to my predictions with New York City with the tunnel collapse, floods. It could all be related. It could very well be related. And as I'm talking about this, Spirit shows me a bridge crumbling. I don't know what bridge, and I'm not sure if this is New York, but this bridge crumbles from an earthquake. So that I would expect, if Spirit's showing me that now, that it would have to do with the whole bridge and all. The whole Hudson River and such. So we'll just have to see. I love how people go in my chat to try to promote themselves. So not right. Not right at all. Meteors are attracted to magnetic waves and predict earthquake activity. I said that already. So let's move on to the end. This is the end. My only friend, the end. In past predictions, I spoke about a large increase in suicides. Remember that? Not to mention my prediction of people opting out of this lifetime and a large die-off of population. Some people got very concerned about that prediction when I said it. Don't be concerned, because sadly, right now we have farmers in the Netherlands that are also now committing suicide because of the strict World War II-like tactics that are being used against farmers over there, to the Dutch and farmers and such. This is also happening with the fishermen in the Netherlands, who no longer can operate their fishing businesses in the same way, in turn making it practically impossible for them to survive. This is linking up to suicides. Yeah, they like that. That's anything to depopulate. They'll do whatever they can. Cause you so much stress that you opt out. But here's the thing. Together, we must understand our soul contracts. And as hard as it truly is to lose somebody that we love, including our pets, we must literally celebrate their connections that we had with them, the joy that they brought us, including the challenges and lessons that we may have learned from them. And we need to remain strong and fight for both the living and for our ancestors. That's important. We're still here. So those that contracts are up, as much as it's hard to lose them, they would want nothing more for you to continue the fight and for us together to continue the fight. That's what they want for us more than anything. And they want us all to be in a place of abundance, joy, and happiness that is our soul birthright to reach. The thing is we have this dark energy on the planet that tries to suppress us and do the opposite of what we come here to do. Our soul purpose, our main soul purpose, besides the lessons that we're supposed to learn, is to do what is we need to in order to reach our place of abundance, joy, and happiness. And that's work. It doesn't have to take a whole lot of work, but it takes work. It takes dedication to you, the universe, the divine, and the law of attraction. Now, our friends in Japan, I read something that it said that Japan's government resigned. Thank you, Patty M. Thank you, Patty M, for your check cash. Thank you for bringing your predictions. Oh, no, thank you for your love and support, Patty M. Patty M. So Japan's government resigned. Does anybody know anything about that? If so, our friends in Japan, let us know. Because this would correlate with the predictions I made of mass power step downs, which is still continuing, Spirit says. And we ain't seen nothing yet, is what Spirit just said to me. You ain't seen nothing yet. With people stepping down, resigning, assassinations, not just with leaders, governments, but also with CEOs and corporations. So if Japan's whole government resigned, that would also make sense to my prediction I just thought of when I said that I saw literally a strike happening with the United States Senate and like a walkout strike of some sort happening. Well, if that's what happened in Japan just recently, if that's true, then that's what happened in Japan. So it's only going to rub off onto other places. Oh, and I told you about in the future, there's an Illuminati card that talks about, a ban on alcohol. But, somewhere along the line, they think to themselves, what if we do something else instead of banning it? Make it impossible to get. Then we can ban it because people will be fighting to find their alcohol because it'll be hard to get. Well, excuse me. I told you that there would be a major shortage with wine, remember? I told you that there was going to be a great fire that would destroy the grapevine vineyards. And I wasn't sure where it was. I was thinking California, but I was wrong, and I'm not always right. I give myself credit when I'm wrong. I mean, not credit, but I acknowledge when I'm wrong. And most of the time, I'd rather be wrong than right. But I was just wrong on where this was going to occur. And I don't know exactly what I said as far as location. I thought California, but I might have even said France or Italy. I think I said Italy, actually. Well, Portugal and France, actually, is having major wildfires that is destroying the Bordeaux, if I said that right, Bordeaux wine region, the Bordeaux wine region of France and Portugal. So that prediction, what I said about wine and shortages, yeah, and I told you it would be targeted. If you remember, Spirit said that it would be targeted. They would target that area of vineyards. So here's the thing. We got to keep our eye out because that's just now in France and Portugal. And I don't know if that's the same, if it's on a borderline or if it's separate, but that's what we got to keep an eye out to see if any other vineyards in other places, because California and the United States, people think California, but they don't realize upstate New York has got tons of vineyards. I remember driving through upstate New York, and as far as you could see, you look off to the side and it's row, blah, 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 blah. It was kind of interesting. So that just kind of confirms that. Completely confirms that. Let me just double check my other notes because I didn't get to finish everything and I want to make sure. Oh, did you hear about that? Well, we know about the bugs in the food, right? You know about bugs in the food. My computer's about to die. Hold on one second. Hold on 1 second, guys. No, dog, I'm not leaving yet. I'm not done. I know all you care about is your treat. It's all she cares about. I wish somebody gave me treats all the time. There we go. Sorry about that. Sorry about that, my friends. Hold on. Where was I? What was I saying? I was double checking my notes. Bugs in our food. You know they want us to eat bugs, right? You heard about that whole thing, right? I don't have the article because will you go lay down, please? Thank you. But they have there's oh that's what it was. Somebody was eating cheese puffs. That's right. I saw it somewhere. Probably like a video somewhere. Cheese puffs. And he showed the ingredients on the back of these natural cheese puffs. You better start looking at your ingredients, my friends, because on the back, clear as day, cricket flour. Cricket flour. We know about almond flour and all the other different kinds of flour, but cricket flour. What do you think that is? A brand? Cricket brand? No. That's crickets grinded down into a flour and cheese puffs on the shelf with no picture of a cricket on the front. They're not telling you this. It's sick. They're already mass producing bugs like crickets in factories that they plan on pushing into food. And next thing you know, they're going to be putting cricket puffs. Yeah, that's funny. But they're not called cricket puffs. The word cricket wasn't anywhere except in the ingredients. But they're going to start using these things as fillers for food. Especially, Spirit's showing me the frozen food aisle. The frozen food aisle, the aisle that you should avoid, really. Frozen food aisle, and Spirit's showing me that and all those, entree dinners. To keep an eye out because they're going to start using stuff like that as fillers. Fillers, not just cricket flour, but things that are made with bugs. They're also, Spirit says, you're going to come up with words, ingredient words that doesn't say bug or sound like bug unless you research what it is, and it's going to be bugs. We already know they do that with like red food dye is a bug. A lot of people don't realize that you've already been eating bugs because they use a specific bug to make red food dye, and they put it in a lot of different things. So interesting. Hey, whatever. I don't want no damn bugs in my food. That's all I know. I don't like bugs. What else do I have that I missed? Talked about Vegas already, right? New Islands. November will be a time to watch the markets very closely as many markets collapse in some countries. I said that already. I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything at all. Friday night in London. Attack on urban farming. Oh, yeah. Natural gas prices in Europe rise to an all-new record high. I warned you all in Europe and told you all to get prepared and get ready. As a matter of fact, it's one of the things I want to do is get one of my siblings has a little heater that works off of propane. And I have propane. My house is propane, but my heating system sucks up so much propane. And it's just me and my little precious, and we have a fireplace. So I want to get one of them and a couple propane tanks to have in storage just in case. I told you massive blackouts are coming. Major blackouts, especially this winter. Many people are going to freeze to death or potentially could freeze to death. Let's put it that way. We don't want you to freeze to death. We want you to be happy, healthy, and joyful. So gas. Signs in heaven. Tijuana. I don't have anything written here but Tijuana. But in Tijuana, Mexico, there was just all this major chaos happening. It doesn't surprise me with Tijuana, but major looting, major stuff. Did you know in Hong Kong, they already implemented facial recognition? Yes. Facial recognition. That's part of their goal in their surveillance world prison state that they plan on forming. Oh, and I didn't talk about the Six Flags. I said it in the beginning. Six Flags. I don't know which one, but there was a shooting at the Six Flags. I don't think anybody was killed. I don't believe, but one of you told me about it, and I didn't get a chance to look at the article. But I said there would be a shooting at an amusement park. But also, I warned you about the movie Roller Coaster from back in the 70s. Remember me talking about that? I talked to you all about that, and I had this vision of this roller coaster like flying off the tracks. In the movie Roller Coaster, it was a terrorist. Not that it was terrorist, but we just had that major coaster accident that occurred in Germany. I know 9 people were injured, and I don't know if anybody perished. But that would make sense to some of the visions I said about the roller coasters. Spirit says this isn't the only one. There's a few more to come, and one is going off the tracks. So be careful, my friends. Be careful. I love roller coasters personally. I love me a damn good roller coaster. Faster, the longer, the better. Alaska's in for a huge, major earthquake. I don't know if I said that in my weather predictions today, but again, I'm just going through some notes because during the week, stuff comes to me and I just type it in real quick. France fires. Oh, huge changes. I didn't tell you this one. Huge changes in resignations, and firings of FBI and CIA. Resignations in the United States Senate as well. So let me actually put that in here, my notes. So when I post it on my subscribe store, they have it. So I didn't miss anything. But yes, huge resignation. I don't know how I missed that one. And then last but least, now I got a tinkle.
You've got mail.
I've got mail. So somebody sent me an amazing gift in the mail. These awesome earrings, which actually hurt because I haven't had earrings in my ears in so long that I actually had to poke them in again. But these are like some neat bear claw earrings. And they sent me this. And I say they because I have no idea. There was no card in the box, darling. No card in the box. There was no return name on the box. I cannot find who sent me this. This is a beautiful, we could call it an athame or selenite wand, which is awesome, very awesome. I also got from the same person some sage, some, these I'm going to actually use. This is horsehair that is dyed. I'm going to use these in my future rattle making class, and all kinds of cool feathers. And I don't know. This is the other thing. I don't know what this gigantic feather is, whether it's big. It almost looks like a condor feather. I don't know what it belongs to or if it's real or not. I kind of thought this one, which could be a cross between a pheasant or an owl feather. This feather here, which looks more like a falcon or a hawk. And this one here, beautiful peacock feather. A little quack, quack duck feather. What else did they send me? The earrings, and she sent me all this stuff. And I am so grateful, and please let me know so that I can give you a shout out because you didn't put anything in the box to tell me. This was really cool. I was shocked to see this come out of there. This is awesome. I was just telling my friends on Subscribe Star, like, what am I going to do with this? I got to find somewhere good to put that. I wouldn't mind shadow boxing it because that would look cool. But thank you for those beautiful gifts and items. And you can send me mail. I read my mail at the address down below in the description. Well, my beautiful friends, it's always an absolute pleasure to hang out with you on Tuesday. I will be back soon. I am working on pieces. It's just been really busy. The energy had me feeling really wonky for like a week, and preparing for family to come visit who are here, but now stepped out for a couple days to Colorado. And then more family coming on Friday. So I'll be busy with that over the weekend, but I have plans, quite a few pieces I want to put out before the end of the month. So be sure to subscribe, check your notifications, and check in with the fact that Spiritman does love you and does appreciate you. You are loved. You are appreciated. You need to celebrate life and celebrate you and the amazing you that you are. Be kind to others as you wish others to be kind to you, because we all know mean people, yeah, they suck. Mean people. Much love to all of you on this beautiful Tuesday. Until the next time, be well, have a great day, and the namaste. Spiritman JT.